Hi, thanks for joining us for our book recommendations from July and August. I am Sage.
And I'm Trinaty.
And we're going to jump right in. So for July, I read Sunya Mara's The Darkening. I'm still reading it, hence no cover flap. And for August, I read Jennette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom Died.
For July, I read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. And then for August, I read For Better or For Worse by Erin Rosa.
So we're going to give summaries of our July books now. The Darkening is basically about this girl who is the daughter of failed revolutionaries. It takes place in a fantasy world as it is a YA fantasy. And basically the city that she lives in is in the center of a storm, and there's like different rings. The rings low-key gave me Attack on Titan vibes. And so basically the storm keeps surging inwards and inwards, and she lives on the outermost ring, and then the richer people live more centered in the city. And she her father gets captured and she needs the help to get him back, and she kind of makes this little alliance with the prince who captured her dad.
Okay. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is about two friends, Sam and Sadie, who had a undisclosed falling out, and recently have run into each other again and reconnected by Sadie giving him a game she just made to try, and that's how they both start talking again after having a prior falling out in their early or late childhood, early teens kind of time in their lives. And they both avidly play video games, but they also both create video games. So it takes us through a story of them creating a video game together and going through the rest of their life and their relationship. So
it's cute.
Yeah. What initially brought you to the book?
So I love YA and I love fantasy, so it was just an easy choice for me. The author has actually come into the store a few times, and I met her and she was very nice. And I found out that she was writing this book and that it was her debut novel. That's what I'm trying to say. It was her debut novel, and so I was very excited because she was really cool, and she was having this debut novel that was like right up my alley in terms of like what I like to read. So yeah. So what brought you to your book?
So everyone at the store knows that I'm like a fiction reader. I feel like I am one of the only fiction readers, although this is technically fiction. I wouldn't...
No one likes fiction at Winter Carter?
No. I wouldn't say it's fiction. I would say like fiction, sci-fi, kind of, because I think the video game aspect brings an interesting play on fiction. But it was marketed to me as like 3 a.m. in a Denny's vibe, like you're playing video games at home, and like it's that weird hour of the night where like weird things happen.
Yeah.
I'm making it sound a lot more ominous than it is, but you know what I mean? It's like lo-fi.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe.
Nice.
Yeah.
So did you have a favorite character?
I did. Sadie and Sam. Well, Sam has a best friend that they become like a trio, and the best friend is named Marks, and I think he is full Japanese, and he goes to like Japan a couple times throughout the book, and it's really interesting reading about like his character arc and his relationship with his dad, and like etc. etc. He was my favorite for sure. I love him. Nice. What was your favorite character, if you had one?
So far I really like I believe his name is. It's Izzy. I really like his description. He has gold eyes with like the cat eye, so the vertical slit. And I love characters that have that because I just think it's cool. So like not only is he cool, but he's also like just funny and like smart.
Yeah.
I just really like him so far. So Jennette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, is a memoir about her life, starting from childhood when she became a child actor to the present. It deals with her struggles with anorexia, bulimia, child abuse from her mother, and just everything going on. And I'm very happy that she seems to be doing a lot better now, and I'm really glad that she felt safe to share her story with us, and it was really well written and just really good.
I need to read it.
It's so good.
For Better or for Worse is a culinary-based romance, which I have a affinity for. And it is about these two characters, Nina and Leo, who are like, Nina is like a pretty popular chef with a very famous restaurant, and he also has a very famous restaurant, and they're co-hosts on a show together, which abruptly comes to an end. And in order to save face, they start a fake dating relationship to try and get their names back in like a good standing with people. So yeah.
So it has fake dating and enemies to lovers.
Yes, they are enemies at first.
Intriguing.
Enemies to lovers, fake dating, culinary.
All the works.
So what drew you to this memoir?
So I grew up watching iCarly, as a lot of people did our age. So I knew who Jennette McCurdy was, and I knew that she wasn't going to do the iCarly reboot that happened recently because of what happened during her time at Nickelodeon. And she does touch on that, but obviously she goes a lot more in depth and into her own personal life in addition to what happened at Nickelodeon. And yeah, I just knew it was heartbreaking, and I knew it was really good, and there were just so many people talking about it on like every social media platform you could find, and it sold out. And obviously the title is like, it grabs ya, and I feel like the cover is also just very beautiful. I love the pink and the yellow. It's just gorgeous. And I just think she really put her whole heart and soul into this, and I thank her for it. So what drew you to For Better or Worse?
So, like I said, I have an affinity for culinary romance. I am a culinary major in college, so it makes sense. So I have made it like a personal goal to read whatever culinary romances are published. Like, I have to.
I love that.
I am like bound to do this. So this was just, I saw it was a new release, and I actually really liked the cover. I thought the art was really beautiful, and I like it when the people on the cover are drawn really well. And this is like really good art, so I think that was like one of the main things. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read that right now.
All four of these books have beautiful covers.
Yes.
I know you can't see the Darkening cover, but I promise it's very gorgeous and beautiful. Yeah. So did you have a favorite character?
I did. Nina, who is this girl, the other main character, has a best friend named Jasmine, and she is her sous chef at her restaurant. And she's like super cool. She rides a motorcycle. She loves pink. And she's a really good chef, and I really like the descriptions of like what I like it in culinary romances, obviously, when they really like lean into the culinary aspect. So there are quite a few scenes where she was like making something and they would describe it. So yeah, I really liked her and her personality.
So I would recommend I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy to honestly anyone, even if you don't know her, if you don't know the work she's done, even if you don't like nonfiction or memoirs. I just highly recommend. It's a really good read, and if you don't want to like physically read it, then the audiobook is also narrated by her, and it's really great. And then for The Darkening, I would recommend to YA lovers, I would recommend to YA fantasy lovers, enemies to lovers, just, yeah.
I would recommend Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow to pretty much anyone. It made my list of favorite books this year that I've read so far. But if you like video games on like a base level, or if you like them at a deeper level, both of those groups will have a appreciation for this. Would highly recommend. Please read it. It's so good. For Better or for Worse, I would recommend to romance lovers. It is very romance heavy. And it's also enemies to lovers and fake dating. So if you like either of those tropes, I think you will enjoy this a lot.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. We will see you next month for September recommendations.
At a base level, if you enjoy video games at a deeper level, all of those things will, wow. One more time, guys.
Hi, thanks for joining us for August and July and August.
The immediate.